guys, welcome back to day number 8 and 9 in my December daily. I am working on 2 pages today, and the first page on the left is going to be pictures of my daughter getting her haircut. We went to the mall to get photos taken, and she has been wanting to get her haircut for quite some time. So we went there and got that done while we were there, and she got, oh, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches cut off. I'm not very good at measuring or estimating those type of things, but so she got quite a bit cut off, and I think it turned out really cute. I like her hair longer better, but I think the short look is something different and exciting for her. So it works for me. It will grow back. Whether she wants to grow back or not, I'm not quite sure. She'll have to let me know. But anyway, I just got these 2 pictures, or I have these 2 pictures. They're 3 by 4 size, and I'm going to be putting them in that library pocket that I showed earlier. That library pocket was something that I have made prior to starting my December daily pages. I just made that ahead of time, and I believe I showed a video showing that off, or at least I showed the photos of what it looked like and some of those embellishments. So I'm just going to add tabs to these 3 by 4 cards. I wanted to have them so that something looks like it's pulling out of the pocket, and I will also add these little words to each of them. It's going to say before, after, happy, and cute, I think, and I think I have some other words that I'm going to be also posting. That little square card on the right hand side is just one of the Hip Kit number cards, and I decided to keep it whole this time and not chop it up or cut it down or punch it out with a circle punch. And I like that, and I'm going to end up backing that in a minute here. First, I'm going to add some brown to the back of these cards. They looked a little too white, and I just used that little brush tool to add some color to the back. And then I'm going to end up adding these little strips, and then I'm going to put my journaling on the back. So now I'm going to be backing that little square, and I'm just using some Hip Kit paper that says Merry Christmas with the red stars in the background. And I just like how that peeks through the acetate piece. And so I'll just ink that up, and then I'm going to staple that to the card there with my tiny attacher. And then I will do a little bit of decorating to the back of that square as well. I thought it needed just a little bit of something. And then I'm stapling also those tabs, and in a little bit I'll show you how I cover up those staples. I'm just going to use some of this trim, and I'm just going to add to the top. Not only does it give it a fun texture, it just kind of covers up the ugliness of those staples in the back, and I'm just using my 3-in-1 Beacon glue for that. I really like that glue. It dries super clear, and it just is a pretty good hold. This is where I'm going to decorate that little card on the right. I have these little printable Santas that I got, I think from an Etsy shop. And I'm picking the one that I thought looked best with this, and I thought this one was cute because it looks like Santa's surprise, so I thought that would kind of go well with the fact that my daughter got her hair chopped off. So I'm going to add that there to the left, and I'm going to add a little piece of doily because it looked a little floaty there. So I'm going to add a little bit of doily to that bottom right hand corner. And I'm just using some of that 3-in-1 glue here to glue it down, and then I'll just trim off the excess. And I think that looks a little bit better. It just looks a little more anchored down on this page. And I did ink up around Santa. I think he might have looked a little better if I mounted him on some coffee dye paper first, but it's okay. I think it will work this time. So now I'm going to put the decorations on the back of these cards. I'm going to use half of the doily on this card on the left, and then I'm going to use the leftover piece on the right. And then I'm going to type up my journaling on the typewriter on some coffee dyed paper. I'm going to cut it into strips, and then I'm going to put that on these 2 sides. The one that says haircut, I'm going to add a whole bunch of little strips, and the one on the left, I'm going to cut it up into 3 sections. So here is where I'm going to be doing that. So you can see that these are just typed on my typewriter. I got some new typewriter ribbon, and so it's much darker than the ribbon I was using before. I don't know if it's just because it's a lot newer or if it is a different color or something, but it seemed a lot more juicy, I guess, if that's possible, for ribbon. So I'm going to just add that all down there. And then I have a little bit of journaling left, so I'm going to add it on the back of this pocket. And I just kind of separated the kind of stories, if you will, into these different sections, and I thought it worked well. And then that just peeks out when you pull out the little piece of paper. So I'm just kind of moving my stuff off to the side here. I'll bring my book back in and then show how that looks on this page. I contemplated putting something else behind this pocket, but I ended up saying, you know, I don't really need to have anything else in the background. What I'm going to do is just ink around the edges, and I think that just kind of helps to bring your eye into the layout a bit more. And now that I have all that together, I think that looks nice. So I'm just going to glue that whole entire pocket down. You could also glue it down on 3 sides, and then you can have another pocket behind the pocket. That's another option if you have more things to stuff in there. But in this case, I just needed the one library pocket to stuff things in. I didn't need anything else. And I'll just glue this down. And then also in these library pockets, if you want to, you can also make them like clipped in so you don't actually have to glue them in. I really like the back of that paper, but in this case I decided just to kind of put it into the album and glue it down permanently. So I really like how that turned out. That was day 8. I think I'm pretty much done with that. I'm just going to show you a little bit of a close-up on these cards and then just tuck everything back in that little pocket. So next I'm going to work on day 9. This is a big photo that I got from the photo shoot that we went to on day 8. I didn't really have anything else for day 9, so I thought I would use these photos of my daughter. And they're all 5x7. One I picked up from the photo place, and the other 2 I just printed on my computer because I bought the digital images. And what I want to do is I want to add some photo corners onto the one that I got from the actual photo studio, so I don't have to permanently glue it into the album. So I'm just gluing this music wrapping paper to another piece of paper just to make it a bit more firm. I made some photo corners and then I used that to stick in the book, and I must not have recorded that. I thought I recorded that part of the video, but I think I missed it. But you can see them sticking in. I basically just fitted them all on, put them on the photo, put some glue on the back, and then stuck everything down and then pulled the photo back up while it was drying. These I just sewed onto this unbleached parchment paper, and because it is parchment paper, it does not allow for things to stick to it so well, so I just use a little bit of adhesive to keep things in place while I sewed around it, which in the end didn't really work out very well, so I have a little bit of a messy stitching there, but it's okay. And I just stitched around with a zigzag stitch all the way around both of the 2 5x7s. And then the back, I didn't really have much to say on this day because we didn't do a lot. I just took 2 of the collage sheets that I got from the KB and Friends kits, and I just put that on the back of these just for something on the background. So pretty simple here. I am going to use my PVA glue. I thought that was going to be a pretty nice strong glue to keep these pieces of paper down. So I'm just going to pour it on because the nozzle hasn't been cut, and I'm just going to smear it around with my fingers. Pretty simple. And then I'm going to press that down onto the photos here. So yep, pretty messy. It's all good. It worked out and everything stuck pretty well on here. So while I'm doing that, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you could, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified when the next video comes up, all you have to do is click on that bell, and it will notify you when I post the next video. Now I'm just kind of making sure everything's smushed down really well, and it is. So I'm going to add some tabs to this too. I'm going to use my whale punch and some of the coffee dyed or tea dyed paper, and then make 2 tabs for each of these, or 1 tab for each of these. And then I'm going to also type up some journaling and add that as well. All right, yes. So I did the typed up journaling there. And then I'm also going to get the sticker that came on the back of an envelope that my daughter got from my aunt for Christmas. And I thought it was super cute because it has these little kitty cats on it. So I'm just carefully peeling it off. I will add a little bit of ink around it because it is a bit white, and then I'll use my glue stick to glue that down. And that journaling is going to go right there. Again, I just typed up that journaling on my vintage typewriter on some coffee dyed paper. And I like adding just a little bit of the vintage photo distress inks. I just think it kind of makes it look like it fits in this book a bit better. And I'm just using my glue stick to get that glued down. So pretty simple. Excuse me. So next I am going to glue down this journaling, and then I'm going to add 3 stickers from that sticker sheet you see on the left, just to add a little cluster of stickers to the right. And then I'm also going to make a little border with some paper, some pattern paper. And I just had a little thin strip of the striped paper, and I thought that would work perfectly, so I just punched that out with my scallop punch. And I did have to be more careful because it was such a thin strip. I kind of had to hold it in place so it would glue nicely, or so it would punch nicely. And then I'm just going to glue that little strip down with my fine liner bottle. It just has Scotch tacky glue in it. So I'll add that down there. And then I'll pull 3 stickers off the sticker sheet, a holly, a candy cane, and a snowflake. Just make a little cluster there on the right hand side. So I like how that looked and it just kind of finished off the end there. And then I will put a little bit of ink on it as well, just to get some of that stark whiteness off of it, so it blends into the page a bit more. Just pushing that in with the little distress tool and then just rubbing it with my fingers. It is a little bit of a slick surface. It just helps blend it in a bit more so it wasn't quite as dark. So now I'm going to work on these tabs. I just have these scrap pieces of tea dye paper, and I'm just going to use this Stampin' Up! Whale Punch. This is no longer available through Stampin' Up!, but I believe you can get it on Etsy and some other places, some resale places. I'm going to glue those on, or actually staple those on to the photos, ink around them, and then add some little word phrases that I typed up on my vintage typewriter. And that's pretty much going to be these 2 pages. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any questions about anything I did, make sure you leave those in the comments below. Or if you just want to chit chat, I love to hear from you guys. So hopefully I will see you guys pretty soon. Hope to have some more videos up before I go back to work. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.